Coach, we'll start on the left, second row.
Anthony Chang, Miami Herald. Spo, you always talk about the competitive will of this team. Was that on display tonight? I know it was a loss, obviously, but just with not many shots went in, and still was a grind, and it was still was kind of a possession game there down the stretch.
Yeah, I mean, our guys will be able to take that quality to the rest of their careers. That grit, the perseverance, the toughness, the ability to compete and put yourself out there for everybody to judge, and to be able to handle, different things, adversity, all that. But I'll speak for everybody in our locker room and the organization. Congratulations to the Denver Nuggets organization. They're a class act, and they're one hell of a basketball team. One hell of a basketball team. We couldn't really find, obviously, enough solutions to be able to get us over the top.
Left side, first row.
What's up? So Wes Lammy, worldwidewest.com. Spo, just that final 2 minutes, like you were mentioning just there, what stood out to you in terms of you guys kind of holding them, but just the shots weren't falling in anyway?
I don't know. Those last 3 or 4 minutes felt like a scene out of a movie. Two teams in the center of the ring, throwing haymaker after haymaker, and it's not necessarily shot making. It was the efforts. Guys were staggering around because both teams were playing and competing so hard. That's what this league should be about. There's no regrets on our end. There's just some times where you get beat, and Denver was the better basketball team in this series. That's about as hard. I don't know how long it'll take me to go through, the autopsy of this final game, but I would say that will probably rank as our hardest competitive, most active defensive game of the season, and it still fell short. And then probably our second highest rated game would have been Game 4, and we fell short by double digits. So that just gives you an indication of how good this Denver Nuggets team was in this series, but also throughout the course of the season and all of the playoffs. They were the superior team in every series, and they deserved this championship.
Back row in the middle.
Robert Littell, BSO. Could you just speak about the entire journey of this playoffs from almost not making it in through the play-in game, being an 8th seed, going all the way through the finals? What does that say about your team, you as a coach, and what lessons do you think just regular people can take from you guys' journey from where you started to where you're at right now?
Yeah, we would have liked to have been able to climb the mountaintop to be able to get that final win. But I think this is a team that a lot of people can relate to. If you've ever felt that you were dismissed or felt that you were made to feel less than. We had a lot of people in our locker room that probably have had that, and there's probably a lot of people out there, that have felt that at some time or another. But also the way this team handled setbacks and adversity, to develop a collective grit and perseverance. I mentioned this before, that hopefully these are lessons that'll transcend this beautiful game, that hopefully these are lessons that we can pass along to our children, that even though it is sport, that you can learn, lessons of life from this game, and that you can persevere, you can handle what people may view as many failures along the way, and become stronger from it, and to be able to overcome things and find beautiful things on the other side of that. Now, obviously, we didn't get the final win, but sometimes, that's true in sport and also in life, that you don't always get what you want. But there's no regrets from our side. Everybody, staff, player alike in the locker room put themselves out there and put themselves into the team, whatever was best for the team. And the tough pill to swallow is it just wasn't good enough. We ran it up against a team that was just better than us in this series. And you have to tip your hat to them. That I said it, but they're one hell of a basketball team. They play the right way. They compete. They're well coached, and they have a strong culture. So for this season, they deserve this.
We'll take 2 more questions. Left side,
Thank you.
5th row.
Spo, Nick Friedel, ESPN. To follow up on what you touched on, what was the message that you just imparted to the group?
A little bit of that. Sometimes it's just not your time. Some of the message that I gave the team is an intimate message just for the group. But what I can tell you, we're all hardwired to compete for the ultimate prize. But you also want to develop lifelong memories and a brotherhood and a bond that you'll be able to carry on from years from now, that we've been able to go through something that's memorable. I told each one of the guys I love them. I love this team. And I'm just super grateful that we're able to go through all of the experiences, even the tough times during the year, to be able to have a season like this. This is one for the journal books, right? That we're, I don't know about all the guys, journaling, but this is certainly, one that I'll journal and remember this team, forever. And years from now, I'll bump into some of these guys, and we'll have this bond, even though we didn't get that final prize.
Last question, 2nd row, left side.
Were you close to playing Tyler today, or was it a matter of just him being available kind of in this moment?
It's just a really tough call, and I'll probably have to wrestle with that all summer. I've never been in an experience like this. I just know that the way this game was played is totally different than, you can't even compare it. It's another sport in the regular season. But first round, this is totally different, the way this game was played. Second round, totally different. Yeah, even the conference finals, the physicality and what they let play, and I think they should have. This is what it should be about, is let the players decide. But that's the hardest played, most physical competition you can have, and that would be a tough thing, for a guy that's been out for 2 months that hasn't had any kind of ramp up. But that won't save me from, thinking about that for the next few weeks. All right.
Thank you, Coach.
Appreciate all of you sticking around. All right, and we'll see you down the road.
Let's start on the left side, 4th row.
Steve Ashburner, NBA.com. Spoelstra was in here a few minutes ago talking about the bonds you guys gained and the things you went through in this postseason, even lessons that civilians could take away from seeing a team that might have been counted out and overachieved. Are you guys too bottom line to appreciate that kind of stuff, or is that something that in the months and years to come you're going to look back at this run as something special?
First and foremost, congratulations to the Denver Nuggets. Great franchise. Great team. They deserved it, and they beat us fair and square. I think we go and it's a special bond with this group. We were led by one of the best basketball players on this earth, and he instilled confidence in us. And it's kind of one of the things where you don't know how we're going to feel and what we're going to think right this moment. But we'll look back at some point and say, hey, it was a great year, a great run. But right now, just can't even think about that right this moment.
We're going to stick to the left side, 5th row.
Jimmy, Nick Friedel, ESPN. You've always learned something from every year since you've been in the league. What will your biggest takeaway from this season and this team be?
probably how grateful I am to be able to compete with these guys. You know, you never know what the team's gonna look like next year or the year after that. I'm just grateful. I learned so much. They taught me so much, and I wish I could have got it done for these guys because they definitely deserve it. But the one thing that I'm gonna take from it is how grateful I am to be able to compete with them.
I know it's tough to look big picture right now, but just can you describe what the last 4 years have been like and just finding a team in the city that you can call home?
It's been great. I've had some hell of a teammates come through here and compete with me and give us the opportunity to win a championship, which I still believe with everything in me that we will do as a team here, as an organization, as a city in Miami. The 4 years have been great. It's always great to be wanted and loved and appreciated, and I don't think that that's going to change. But for the time being, like I just said to Nick, I'm grateful, man, that we made it here. Came up short, but I'm blessed. I'm fortunate.
Left side, first row.
Hey, Jimmy, West Lemmy, worldwidewest.com. You guys won the turnover battle. Obviously, you guys also had more steals in this contest. What stood out to you in that final stretch, maybe like two minutes there?
That I turned the ball over. That's what stood out.
We're going to go to the left side, second row.
Anthony Chang, Miami Herald. Jimmy, I know you're not one to make excuses, but after that ankle injury in the second round, how much did that kind of affect you moving forward as the postseason went on?
Zero. My ankle's fine. We just didn't win. And there's no excuse. They beat us. That's all I got.
Left side, fourth row.
Steve Ashburn, NBA.com. 51 points first half, 38 second half. How much of that was you in the last two quarters? You guys, how much of that was what Denver did after halftime to bog you down?
Take it away, Cap.
I think we still got good looks. I think our pace was great. You know, I think they made shots, and we didn't get out in transition as much as we wanted to. But I mean, we shot 34% or something like that, and we got some good looks and just missed them.
Left side, second row.
Jimmy, the scoring was down in this series. This has become very much of an offensive league, even though you guys very much succeeded with a gritty kind of game. Do you think that's something in the offseason maybe you have to look at a little bit more? The way this stats trended all season was of a low-scoring team. Do you think this team needs to add a little bit more on that end going forward, maybe to make it easier after a series of failing to hit 100 like you did in most of these games?
No. We just miss shots. That's what this league is about. You know, we make 2-3 more shots. That's what it's been for us all year long. I think we did enough to win. You know, you guard well. We're still in position to win. You don't have to score 100 points to win a basketball game. I think we'll be okay. You know, that's Coach Patton and Coach Bo's job to put together another team, which I'm confident that they will do, and we'll take it from there.
Left side, sixth row.
Jimmy, there was a stretch there where Kyle looked like, you know, the champion he is, and he just started making plays. Was that inspiring for you at all? It seemed like after that you found another level, but just watching him do his thing, what was that? What did that feel like for you?
It was the norm. He's been doing it this entire series, this entire year, and since he's been here and been my teammate. You know, we follow his lead, we follow Bam's lead, we follow everybody. You know, you play basketball the right way, you attack, and it looks good, but we've seen it time and time again. It doesn't motivate me anymore or any less. I know he's a champion. I know he wants to win, and whatever he's out there doing, it's to win.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Yeah, for sure.
Guys, we'll start on the fifth row on the left side.
This is Will Guillory with The Athletic. Bam, can you, I know it's tough right now, but can you just describe what this year was like, what this run was like with these guys to get to this point after, you know, so many times people doubted y'all?
Man, it's, I mean, it was a whirlwind because going into this season, we expected. Obviously, we didn't get off to a great start in the beginning of the season. And then go through adversity, guys being out, playing with 8 guys, still trying to find a way, missing shots. Everybody's counting us out. And you lose the first playing game and then win the second one, and then you go on an unbelievable run to the finals. The only thing I can say is, man, they need to put more respect on undrafted players. They're still basketball players at the end of the day, and obviously you've seen they can take you there. So for me, man, it was a joy to get this far and have these type of guys undrafted fighting to make a name for themselves, and they fought to the finals. Came up short, but I don't care what anybody says. You can never count these guys out.
Guys, we're going to go left side, 6th row.
Marcus Thompson, The Athletic. Bam, you've been facing these big men all in the postseason. How big is like the physicality of Jokic? How difficult is it? I know it's a bit different from like Robert Williams and other guys, but is his size that much of a factor out there?
No, man, he just makes the right play every possession. I feel like that's the biggest thing about, the player that he is. He's going to try and make the right play every possession. No matter if it's scoring the ball, passing it, getting a hockey assist, it doesn't matter. I feel like that's what makes him dynamic.
1st row, left side.
Bam, West Lammy, worldwidewest.com. What stood out to you, obviously, in that final stretch, just under 2 to play there? You guys were back and forth, and the opportunities, I guess, were squandered away a little bit. What stood out to you?
It definitely wasn't the last 2 minutes. That's what everybody usually tries to take away from the game, the last 2 minutes, what we did wrong, what happened. I think through the duration of the game, we had they got a lot of relief points. Offensive rebounds, runouts in transition. Us on miscommunications and so forth. So I wouldn't say it was just the last 2 minutes.
We're stick to left side, 2nd row.
Anthony Chang, Miami Herald. Max, for you, what made this season, this team, so unique?
Hard to put into words right now. Still trying to get over this. We didn't want to be done, and I think the biggest part about that was the fun we had together. This group, after we picked up Kevin Love and Cody Zeller, it was just unique how we all came together and enjoyed this run together and just had fun. I didn't want it to end tonight. Wanted to keep going, but through all the adversity we had all season, it's just it's hard to put into words how grateful we are for the year and grateful, to be in the position we had. But we came up short, and it's going to be a lesson that we've all learned, and we'll be better for our careers going forward.
5th row in the middle.
Yeah, one more time, Will Giller from The Athletic. Bam. You guys, there's going to be a lot of talk about what you guys have accomplished over the last 4 years, but what do you think about the future of this team and how y'all can kind of build off of these accomplishments going into these next few years?
Man, you take the experience of this season, and if you can just bottle that up and everybody just have their own portion or rewritten story of it. The number one thing I think it would be will. So looking forward, I think this is, one of my favorite teams I've ever been a part of, because we willed our way through ups and downs. We willed our way through, the things that people said we couldn't do. So for me, man, the future, I just take these lessons and I apply them to the next season. And whenever we go through adversity, I'm always going to look back and be like, we've been through adversity before. Having the 8th seed in the finals isn't normal. It isn't easy. People think you know, it depends on what seeding you are, is how good you're going to be. You know, to me, that's bullshit. And obviously this season showed different. So, you know, just looking forward, I'm always going to believe that we got a chance.
Thank you, guys.